Zion Williamson's Duke debut started out with a bang this summer in Canada. After having a practice dunk from the foul line go viral, he lived up to the hype with per-game averages of 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. He carried a heavy workload and showed skills beyond just his incredible leaping ability. Duke outscored opponents by 89 points in the 3 summer games when Zion was on the court. In the limited playing time where Zion was on the bench, the team's offensive and defensive efficiencies both declined. In other words, Zion made a lasting impact in his first 3 collegiate games. Zion even manages to turn rebounding into a highlight with his ability to grab out-of-area rebounds in traffic by jumping above the other 9 guys on the court. In Canada, he showed the ability to push and go after a defensive rebound instead of finding an outlet. His ability to push and go puts so much stress on transition defenses who are forced to match up as quickly as possible. Duke scored 9 points off of Zion pushes in the 3 summer games. When he was the primary ball handler in transition, Zion showed a high willingness to pass and a decent level of court vision. Zion's finishing ability already puts a heavy burden on defenses, but if he can continue to improve as a passer, it will only open up the floor further. Even though he did show promise as a ball handler, Zion is most effective running the floor in transition. He has a high motor running the floor and times his cuts well. He had 8 points off of alley-oops, and there's no doubt we'll see more of this during the regular season. It's one thing to be a jumper, but it's another thing to actually get that skill to impact winning in a game. All 3 of these strengths show that Zion's athleticism does that, especially this last one. Zion scored 16 points off of offensive rebounds. The need to hit and box him out will be at the top of every opponent's scouting report. Watch the missed box out here by number 22 on Toronto. He sight checks Zion. You can see his head turn to look at him, but opponents are going to actually have to hit him to keep him off the glass. Here you can see number 23 do a pretty good job of hitting early, but Zion is shifty, 23 doesn't hold the box out, and it ends up with 2 points. Zion's shot chart is very analytics friendly. Only 2 shot attempts weren't either in the paint or from 3. We can see that the 2 attempts that were in the mid-range were actually very close to the paint. This shot against McGill was Zion's only mid-range pull-up of the trip. It's definitely an encouraging sign for NBA scouts, but I don't expect it to be a big, immediate part of his game this season. Zion went 3 for 4 from 3 in the first game of the trip. Opponents are going to dare him to shoot unless proven otherwise, and his ability to keep the defense honest and not sag too far off of him should be an interesting storyline throughout the year. If we break his shot chart down by just transition attempts, we can see just how lethal he was in transition during the trip, missing just 1 shot on 14 attempts. He was still certainly effective as a finisher in the half court, but keep in mind, he did only face 1 real rim protector, which came in a game against Ryerson, who does have an athletic and long 7-footer. Zion has a pretty diverse set of skills to both attack the basket and finish once he gets there. But like any player, he does have some tendencies. His favorite move is called the bully move, which is a special type of jump stop where the ball is brought from one side of your body to the other in order to avoid the help defender. Zion is ridiculously explosive on his second jump immediately following a jump stop, making the move a great fit for him. He will also Euro step into the move at times instead of a traditional jump stop. This is a great way to avoid charges, but at the same time allowing for an explosive finish. Zion should get to the foul line frequently using the bully move. On the ball handling side of things, Zion loves to change directions from left to right by going behind his back with his left hand. He has a pretty tight handle, but the move had mixed results. The Canadian on-ball defenders often, and understandably, gave a gap when defending Zion. Still, you have plays like this one where you can play it reasonably well, but Zion's sheer strength just basically takes him for a ride. Zion's game isn't particularly similar to Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo, but his ability to score on plays where he takes off from a point far beyond a normal human being reminded me of Giannis. Whereas Giannis tends to cover ridiculous ground by using long steps, Zion actually does it all in the air on his jump. Watch these drives and finishes and just how far out his plant foot is on the takeoff. This summer was a great start to Zion Williamson's Duke career. He certainly looked like a player worthy of being a top 5 pick in next year's draft. Time will tell just how well he adjusts to the Division I level.